Hello, everybody. Welcome and welcome back. Um, Without any delays at all, let's jump straight into code because we need to proceed into our Argoflows implementation. Let me open this up. This is exactly where we had left. If you look at the Git diff, this is what we thought of commenting, but I didn't push it yet. So let's what we were doing was to define different errors for us. We did define a few, and while we were doing so, we also noticed that uh, we also implemented a few types or helpful traits that we will require on the way. Now, in the first API implementation that we were doing for info service, the result returns the result that we return is actually a version model, which is basically a type that has different fields from the version field, which we is something that we have already defined. Why am I not able to go to the definition? Is something wrong? The file is not yet included. Okay, we will fix things on our way. So basically, we did define this error type, which you are seeing here. Now we need to define get version error. Yeah. And the way I see it is that it should be defined under as a separate mod in itself. So we will be starting off by defining a file here, and this should be home for any errors that are related to info service. Sorry, I was speaking and at the same time I started reading. My bad. We need to include info.rs in mod.rs. Let's do it here. Mod info. So let's jump back to info. Yes. Now we need to define an error type. Let me jump back to VS Code and grab what the error definition is. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so bear with me. Okay. All right. Struct for typed errors of method. Um, Not such a helpful. Can this be changed to something better? Any reference if I may find. Nothing that I can think of right now, so maybe I'll just make it uppercase. And okay, so maybe we should do it like this. This is going to be used in this format: API info, and then get version. I think that should do. We definitely need to import serialize and deserialize. So let's bring them in. Use day. That's done. And then what we want is info service. Since this is already under error info, I think we can remove this and just call it get version error. Okay, we are now getting an error. There's nothing as models, so we can get rid of models. And now we need to define a default response type. I'll be honest, I do not know what surd untagged is. I don't know, but I can keep a note that we need to revisit this. gRPC period gateway period runtime period error. Okay, so we need to define a new error, and let's this since this is not related to since this is not related to info. I don't want to have it here. So maybe what we can do is have it defined under mod.rs, and we can use it as super grpc gateway runtime error, maybe. Or it could be, it doesn't matter grpc or what, it's just more of a protocol thing. Gateway runtime error, this sounds like a better name. Cool. Gateway runtime error, what is the definition of gateway runtime error? Let me quickly check. Gateway runtime error, where are you? Found it. And coming your way, this needs to be in here. So maybe let's do it above this. So this is the, we don't need this. And gateway runtime error. Oh, I didn't realize we actually need to use this. So let me paste it in. All right. Okay, we need one more. Okay. Google period protobuf any. This actually makes me wonder if if at any point we see that there are multiple types defined under Google, say dot period and something, or Google dot period protobuf dot something, we will have to turn it into a separate module of itself. But for now, let's create one more error right here. And do we need to import surd with? insert e as. Let me. Okay, we are good with the fields. I believe so. And since it. Okay. Since it already implements default, we don't need a new function defined on it. We should be good. Let's go back to, oops, not here. So our info error is also good. We have defined our first custom error, and I think we should be good at this point to, it does build, I think. Yes, there are a few squigglies, but that's totally fine. Now we want to be back in implementing the code actually. Let's go back. So what are we supposed to do? It declares a local variable in for config which we don't need because the actual implementation that was generated by open API generator, it actually uh, passes in configuration by reference, but still uses creates a local copy, which I don't think is really required. So I'm going to skip that one. It also creates a copy of a client, which also I don't think we need. And the first step will be to create a URI. So let's create a URI. And to avoid any confusion or any typos, I'll just copy this one. Yes. So if you notice, this is the URI that we were using in the curl command as well. So we're on the right path. We are actually implementing the exact same API. This is going to be a format for config.base path. So what format does, it looks for this format, and ultimately it will replace these three lines with the value in here, and it ultimately will have a URI created for us. Okay. The next thing is to create a request builder. Okay. Let builder, or maybe a request builder is what? So this is going to be config.client. You know what? Maybe a faster way of doing this is to just bring everything and we refine it as per our needs. And so that you also get to see the whole code. So this is all the code that I have just moved in from the generated implementation. Now we definitely don't need it to be. Maybe what I can do is remove or get rid of. In case you're wondering where I'm typing, so you should be looking at this space down below. I'm typing in here in the command mode. So I want to search for local var underscore and replace it with nothing. So 24 substitutions. So we got rid of local underscore var. Oh, sorry. I did not do it sort of uh, emptiness and global. Yes. Now we should have got rid of everything. Okay, so there is a request builder coming from the client. Client needs to be under config. Okay. So it's building a request for a get request with this given format. I thought format already returns a slice. Does it not? Maybe it does not. If let there is a user agent, no, we're not using user agents. We're also not using KPI key. Oh, what was that? We do need to set the, hold on. We do need to set the request builder header with, we do need to set the, what is it called? The bearer token, because we are using bearer token. So what we should be doing actually is this. I'm still referring the code that we just deleted. So this, oops, keep it this. So if there is, what is it? If let some bearer token, if there is a bearer token defined in config dot bearer token, if the user has provided a bearer token, what we want to do is to be able to set the request builder equals request builder dot bearer auth, and then what you want to pass is bearer token. We don't need this. Okay, so this is a function that allows you to set the bearer access bearer token. I think one thing to note with this one, why there is no information available. Weird. If I go into the client, this is the request documentation that we have been looking earlier as well. Bearer auth. So, oh, sorry, what I was talking about. So I was saying that this is the function that we are using, and we similarly have multiple functions that we can use to set different authentication methods. For now, we're just using bearer auth token, so let's continue there. We now finally have a request that we can use, and since we are returning a result, we can actually use this question mark, which is the short for doing a match, that if there is a value, set it to request. If there is an error, just return the error. But this question mark will do that magic for us by default. And since we are not into async await, let's get rid of this await and any await for that matter. Don't need this as well. So we get a request, we get a response, we get a status, we also get content. So if status.client is not client error and is not a server error, we return the content, which means there are no errors. And this will, surdy JSON will actually convert the content from string and automatically convert this to a version. So this is deserialization happening right here. This is deserialization. And if there are any errors, they will be mapped or using the function error from. And if you remember in the last video, we did implement, where is it? We did implement surd from, the from trait onto error, our error type, and that's why we need it here, and that's why we are able to use this. So map error takes a function, or which can be used, or kind of mapper, which function can be used to map the error from this type to the type that we are trying to return. A lot of words. Info service get version error. Nope, that's just get version error. And I think at this point we want to bring in errors from use create error. Should it be no, I think it should be fine. So we have brought in get version error in scope, and then we are just returning response content, which is the type we want to return. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. What we're doing essentially is, so if there are no client errors and there are no server errors, uh, if there are no client errors, no server errors, just return the try deserializing the content that we have received and send it back. If that is not the case, which means there is an error, try to deserialize the content into this error type, and then return a response, which is the response error. We have already seen response error. This is the one we created, and this is going to be of this type. And now since I see that the type on both ends are the same name, we can get rid of these types. Okay, response error was also defined under error. We actually need to bring in a few more things here. Was it response? Okay. So we just brought in error and response error also because we are using them at the bottom right here. Okay. This actually should work, which means we actually have implemented our very first API. Let's try and build this. The biggest question is how do we use it? So one way of using it is to have um, another application that will be using this, adding it as a dependency, and adding Argoflows as a dependency, and then using it. Uh, but I think there is a better way of doing it. So let's save and W. Oh wait, we didn't remove to do. Already finished implementing. So save all, and now there is something called examples in Argo projects. Argo examples. We can create examples in where can I find it? Cargo documentation. There is a cargo book as well, I think. We choose examples. Oops, this is not what I'm looking for. Files located under the examples directory are examples uses example uses of the functionality provided by the library, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's zoom in more, and we can minimize this. Okay. When compiled, they are placed in the target debug examples directory. Can you use the public API of the package? Okay, so that's exactly what we want to do. So let's start off by uh, docking it onto the left and moving it onto the screen. Should be good now. So we need something in cargo.toml. Let's define an example name. Also, do we have something similar here? Okay, so the example that I found earlier would it would not even require you to create an entry like in cargo. You can run individual executable examples with cargo run. So I will start with this. Okay, let me try the approach here. Called examples, and under examples I want to do is create a file which is called info api.rs. So this is going to be the example that people can also refer to, and we can will be able to use it as a way of testing our application. So examples are executable, as we just saw, which means this is going to have a main function. Now is the time to import our Argoflows. So use Argoflows, and if I have done everything right, or we have structured it properly, we should be able to use Argoflows API/info, and there we go. Okay, we're getting an error. We should also be able to use, what was it? Use Argo flows and types. And we're getting two errors now. What's the error? Module types is private module. Okay. All okay, okay. My bad. We never exported, or we never made the module in itself public. So lib.rs includes or adds these types, but they need to be public. So they need to be declared as public. This is also going to be pub. And this one also needs to be public. And we never added the API, pub mod API. All right. Let's jump back to info API. And the errors is gone. Error is gone. Now what we need to do is be able to set the token. So let's say if we have something called as token defined as bearer, and then your token goes here. Uh, we wanted to build, we wanted to pass this token to our configuration. So we should be able to do something like, we also need to, from the API itself, we also need to import config. Argoflows API, not API, but config slash config. Let the config be equal to config new. I think that's the function maybe exposed. Oh, wait. Did we not pass in allow a way to set in token? Interesting. Okay, okay, okay. So we never allowed bearer token to be passed from the user. If the user is passing it in, it should be a string, not an option. Had it been an option, we don't really need. So sum. Let's. Okay, so now we can pass it in, and finally we have a config. Now what we want to do is to be able to call API with get version, it is get version, and we want to pass in CFG. This definitely returns a result as we saw earlier. So let's do a match on the result. If the result is okay, we see version details. Let's print ln whatever we get into the debug format. But if there was an error, you want to see the error. It's going to be e println fail to get version, all because of it implements the display trait. And yep, this is how we can test our application. I already have the token generated. I wonder if we can change this to, instead of copy pasting bearer token, to use uh, to be able to use environment variables rather. Uh, std.rs env uh, fetches the environment variable key. So var fetches the environment variable key from the current process. If the variable isn't set, what does it return? Var returns a result. We can use it, I think. So what I'd prefer to do, there is an environment variable that we have already exposed called Argo token. So what I'd like to do is be able to get the environment variable. Let token be standard env and var, and the variable we are looking for is Argo token. Just fine by me. And I definitely want to uh, panic or fail if the environment variable is not present there. There's no point in going forward. So bearer token not exposed. The algo token. Um, must be. So at this point, we should have the token, and I think it returns a result of string or what? Yes, it returns a string. And do we have string concatenation? String dot join or something? Okay, so we can just simply use plus onto an operator. Okay. Now, one thing I just realized is the Argo token already has the bearer keyword, so we don't need this concatenation, right? We can straight away use the token. Yep, and we should be good. Does that mean we can run it now? Cool. I think let's run have an example info API. Interesting, we have errors. Cool. Progress. We have a bunch of errors. Let's go here. Okay, let's start from here. So in the module src API info is private. Src types mod.rs. We have quite a lot of errors. Okay, let's start here. In the API's info.rs, it says self in paths can only be used in start position. Okay. Cannot find URI stir. So we have errors in the info API itself. There we go. Maybe this is not the right way. We can just have it like this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. And I wanted to have a structure like this, and then oh, module info is private. That's an issue. We need to go to is it error? We did define the error, but the error inside mod, it's defined as private, so it needs to be public. Okay, and that is one thing sorted. Under types as well, this is private, so let's go to types. This needs to be public. Let's go back. Okay, and this is complaining about URI stir because we actually have URI, so it is good. We do not have client. This is actually under config.client, so we're good there. Status is what? Oh, it's a result. I think uh, as of now, to not spend or at least have a first version working, I'm gonna have to. I'll just unwrap it for now. What am I missing? No method found for enum result. Oh. In that case, we should not require this. What's the type of status? Status code. Okay. We don't need this as well, I think. Sorted. Okay, content is actually just a thing. Since we are returning a result, we should be able to use the question mark, right? Why do I need to unwrap? We just don't need the await thing. We can still use the question mark syntax. All right. Now it does not have response content. I think we defined response content in types, I think. So let's go to types. We want to have info version. Oops. And response content. We also need response error. So this is going to be where was response error defined? Response error is an enum, right? Okay. What I'm not understanding is why is it complaining about error, not no variant on associated type response error. Oh, did we change the name or something? All right. Oh, we did change it to ha, response, not the error since it was redundant. Okay, now let's get back to terminal and see if we resolve the errors. Few more. Now this is coming in src config mod.rs. Some string. Let's close this. Config. I think we need to clone the string. Some string. Oops. Some bearer token, not string. And what's that? Associated function defined here. What's this? Net version one dead code. Okay, if it thinks it's never used, it's a dead code. Let's see. Think we should now be able to run. So okay. I think I know the answer. So it's complaining that it's not able to find info because it's a private module. We never published ours, but if I do pub mod info and go back, I don't think it still work because how it should be. um, if we do get version is it private? Cannot find function in the module get info. And why is that? Similarly, name function get version defined here. Okay, so no compilation errors, but it won't let us still run it. This is okay. Oh, there is a typo. Yep, that should fix things. No more errors, no more warnings. See what happens. Thread being panicked. Use Argoflows types on unused imports. Okay. Control. Just find Argo token variable not set. And I think all we need is to just use Argo token, and I don't need to echo this. Now we should be able to run it. Still panicked, environment variable must be set. How do we uh env grab Argo. Oh, my bad. We have defined Argo token, but we never exported Argo token. So it's going to be export Argo token, and it should be. I think we can use this export Argo token, and this is going to be a value to this. Does it work like that? Yep. There is a way to do this. Like have the evaluation and then set. Is it dollar? Yep. So we got Argo token, and then for now, I'm just gonna do it the bad way. Argo token is equal to dollar Argo token. This now should be set. Yes, it's all there on your screen for now. And failed to get version, error in request, error sending request. So this is it not? But why is it failing? Okay. We probably need to have a debug info. So I'll change this from. Okay, so we are able to send the request, but the certificate was not trusted, and that's why it failed. It's much like doing a curl, but without hyphen hyphen k, and it fails. And if I remove this, it will give you the same error. So we need to skip verification in when we are sending a request. How do we do that? There must be a way on in the documentation. There has to be a way. Is it usually it's named skip? No. Interesting. Skip cert verification in yeah, request. What is the version we are looking at? 0.19, 12. So we should be able to use something. Isn't there? Um, is there any other disable thing or danger thing? Okay. Okay. So on the blocking line, there is a function called danger except invalid certs. Uh, Defaults to false one. You should think very carefully before you use this method. If invalid certificates are trusted, any certificate of for any site will be trusted for use. This includes expired certificates. Uh, okay, so we want to create a what not want but what we need is to be able to create a client that does allow. Okay, what just happened here? Uh, oh, I see what happened. So let's jump in here instead. So what we need to do is to be able to create a client which by default or at least gives an option to disable uh, this creation or disable the or allows danger of accepting invalid certificates. Is there an example? It takes in a self and it takes a boolean. It's a client builder. Okay, so we need client builder dot new. Come on. No. 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 Expected two arguments, found one. And builder is missing. Oops. Oh, it's a returns a result. So maybe we can do is do an unwrap. Field to create a client. Um, okay. Oh, so it's on client, not client builder. So client, not builder. So this is going to be client, colon, builder, function, should do. All right. Let's run our example. Let's see if it works. Oh, again, the same thing. I still can't believe I don't know how to set a variable. If you know how to do it faster than this, I'm kind of not really sure how to do it. I don't remember on Mac. So I just noticed one more thing. So in here, what we're doing is we add the word beer here. So probably we'll need to document it that it should be included. Otherwise, someone might get confused. How do are we getting the word beer? And voila, we have our working client. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I think I'm gonna stop here. Since this is an in working state, let's push things to let's push everything to GitHub. And I usually like to club things properly, so I'll open VS Code quickly. Um, why is it? So we defined a few types, and then we also defined a few errors. So I'll club them like this. Just see, and GC is short for git commit. Uh, and types, and we are actually adding types for what was that? For info. Okay, and then we want to add errors. And I think that should also add cargo TML because in types also I should have included it. Okay, never mind. GC add errors and error types. Next we did was to add a config. and blind configuration. And then we exposed the API itself. And ultimately we added example and info API example. Finally, I can push up GitHub PR create. It's going to be info API. Implement info API. What do we have? That's fine. Submit. And there we have it. Our first pull request created. And I think I can remove this. It's not really add value, at least not yet. We have the CI kick in. These were just email commits. Ta-da! Okay, I'll keep this PR open until unless we have covered, or actually you can just, if the CI is good, I can actually merge this. In the CI, it would be awesome if we could create a kind cluster, sort of have E2E test where we could, uh, create a client cluster, deploy Argo workflows, and there is a token generated, and ultimately we are able to use it. Super cool. And have a label kind of that could trigger those tests. It would be amazing. Yeah, I think I prefer to merge it as much as I kind of I prefer having progressive uh, PRs. So sorry, I'm hesitating somewhat in my head, but let's merge it. Not the commit header I want. API info sorted get version. Voila. And then again, the CI will run because it's merged to main. Okay, so this was fun. We at least have some code in there. If you like the idea of doing what we're doing, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to you're more than welcome to contribute. I do want to show you something else as well. So this is a note keeping that I've been doing. So these are the API endpoints that we are supposed to support. And what I will do is off the lines, I'll add these API documentation APIs as a checklist onto our GitHub repo. So they can be, if anyone is interested, they can just go ahead and start doing what we're doing. And also I will also create a documentation offline maybe how to set up Argoflows and how you can get started contributing to the project. So, yep, that's it for now. I had fun doing this, and I hope you enjoyed too. We will be learning along the way. We will hopefully build something good people can actually use, and something we can also add to our resumes maybe at some point. Anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in. Bye bye.